Well, hello and welcome back, everybody. It's Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now, let's see what the story is about today. What would you do if you find out after an unexpected ancestry test that at least 4 of your 5 children are not biologically yours? How would you handle a situation like that? Well, we can find out all about it in today's story. Also, if you like what I do, please give this video a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel.
As a matter of first importance, I'm grieved if this winds up being long and meander aimlessly. I'm not actually in the best perspective. My reality has been flipped around throughout the most recent few weeks. I simply need to compose, however much setting as could be expected, so I can get the best advice required. For clear reasons, I'm not yet open to discussing this with my companions, guardians, and siblings.
Now, here is a bit of a background.
I met my better half when we were in high school, and we wedded when we were in college. We have 5 lovely youngsters together. Truly, I think of them as a complete gift, paying little heed to what I'm going to raise. And up a long time back, I believed that we had the ideal marriage. We were commonplace secondary school darlings. We go out together. We never fight. I feel like I've done everything a caring spouse ought to do. I'm saying this not to make myself out as the ideal spouse. For instance, my work has consistently implied I work extended periods of time, and perhaps haven't generally been there when she required me. Yet I need to pressure that I've never felt our marriage was in any trouble. Furthermore, never ever would I at any point have associated my better half with being disloyal. She's constantly done all that she could to help me and to deal with our kids. Now, my eldest daughter recently had an ancestry test done, and the results of the ancestry test strongly suggested I was not her father. She confided this to me privately, showing me the results, and I could tell she was visibly upset by this. Of course, the first thing I did was reassure her that no matter what, she's my daughter and I'll always love her unconditionally. But secondly, the two of us decided to get an official paternity test since the ancestry tests are not completely reliable.
Sadly, the test comes back and OP is indeed not her biological father.
This news really broke me. I'm ashamed to say I broke down in tears in front of my daughter. The combination of finding out about my wife's infidelity and how upset I was making my daughter by how I was reacting. I really wish I had kept it in for her sake, but I didn't. Following this, I asked my other children, except my youngest, to come and see me. I wanted to know the extent of my wife's infidelity. If it was a one-off, I could maybe work past it, especially given how long ago it would be. However, I didn't want to tell my youngest, as she is still in school, a teenager, and really, I didn't think it was appropriate to tell her yet. We tell the other 3 what has happened. I reassure them that I love them unconditionally, and that I'll always be their dad, but that I need to know how long this has been going on. God, I can't begin to explain how touching their reaction was. They didn't care I wasn't their biological father. They were just upset at how heartbroken I was.
Now, OP feels like the only thing that has kept him going in these last few weeks is the unwavering support of his children.
So we have paternity tests for each of the 3 done. Not only none of them are my biological children, together 4 of my children have 3 different fathers, which somehow made it worse. It's like she wasn't just having an ongoing affair, she was having multiple? I can't explain how this makes it worse, but it just does. So, I confront my wife with this, expecting her to confess and beg for forgiveness. She doesn't confess. She doesn't even take it seriously. She says the tests must be flawed. All 4? How am I supposed to take that seriously? I keep bringing it up, and she keeps brushing it off, getting progressively more annoyed at me. When I bring it up, she will try and guilt trip me. We've been together since high school. Do you seriously not trust me? Etc. But how am I supposed to trust her in the face of such overwhelming evidence?
Now that OP has rambled and explained what has happened, he has a few direct questions for advice.
1. How can I reassure my children this doesn't change anything between us? I feel like the way I have reacted, total breakdowns, and has made them second-guess this, despite however many times I reassure them. 2. How do I handle my youngest daughter? I feel like our marriage is beyond saving, and I will need to tell my daughter something. I don't want her to know the truth until she's older, but I also don't want my wife lying and making me out to be the villain. 3. Is there any way at all, you think I could or should save my marriage? I've been with my wife my entire life. It's almost impossible to see a life without her. I know that the answer should be a clear-cut leave her, but we have 5 kids together. If there's anything that can be done to save our marriage, I want to consider it seriously.
Now, OP also wants to add the following.
Thanks so much to everyone for all the support and advice. I've not replied to as many comments as I should have, but I've read each and every one and taken your advice to heart. I'll continue reading any comments or messages you send me. Again, I can't begin to thank you for all your support. If this is resolved, I might post an update, but if she continues to lie, then I don't think I'll bother, as there's not much more I can add. From the advice given in this, I've decided to 1. Get second tests, just in case some freak accident has occurred. 2. Confront my wife with all 4 of my older children present. 3. Tell my youngest of the situation. Ask her if she wants to have a paternity test. It'll be entirely her decision. 4. I'm 100% going to get some form of therapy. My mental state has really been deteriorating over the last couple of weeks, and I owe it to my kids to hold it together. 5. Depending on whether my wife tells the truth and what her explanation is, if any, I've not ruled out some form of counseling. But at the moment, I think divorce is inevitable, unless she changes her attitude drastically. 6. Contact a lawyer and prepare for divorce if it comes to that.
Once again, OP likes to thank all of you for the time you took to express your support and share advice. He also wants to clarify some things people have been asking him.
Question 1. How did the ancestry results suggest I wasn't her father? My family is entirely Irish, no relatives outside of Ireland other than my immediate family, and I even have the stereotypical red hair. My daughter's ancestry results showed nothing from the British Isles, Western Europe, or Northern Europe. That's what set off the alarm bells, but it's by no means conclusive, hence the paternity tests. Question 2. Which 2 children share the same father? My 2 eldest daughters share the same father. Question 3. How did your wife conceive your children? Our eldest daughter was not planned, all the others were planned. Each time we conceived several months after we started trying. Our first 3 planned children were both our ideas, while she pressured me into having our youngest. She was in her late 30s and wanted one last child before it was too late, and eventually I agreed. She was conceived several months after we started trying, too. Question 4. Are you infertile? I don't know. I've never had a fertility test done. But the fact that none of our planned children are mine makes me think that I might be. I will have a fertility test as soon as possible.
Now, before we go to the update, if you like what you're hearing, please give this video a thumbs up so it will reach more and more beautiful people like you.
I've been debating whether or not to post an update, because nothing was ever resolved. I decided I would post it here in case anyone is still waiting for one. I apologize for not updating early when I promised I would. My kids and I confronted their mother shortly after making the post. It really didn't go well. I think the prospect that no one believed her finally hit home because she completely broke down and apologized profusely, but refused to explain herself, or anything that would give myself peace of mind. For the next few weeks, we barely said a word to each other. I was hoping she was thinking it over, and I expected her to eventually sit me down and explain herself. I figured she was so far deep in a lie that it got out of control, and she needed time to think things over. Nope. I came home one evening to find she had ended herself by overdosing. So I lost the love of my life, and I'll never know what mistakes she had made. I really wish I could go back in time and forget about it all. Whatever mistakes she made, I honestly wanted to work through it, and now I'm just riddled with guilt that I pressed her for an answer. The worst part of this entire ordeal was watching my kids work so hard to keep me together after having lost their mother. Anyways, please tell your family you love them while you have the chance.
End of the story. Well, OP, I'm so sorry this happened to you. You did nothing wrong. What she did in the past and her reaction being found out were both completely out of your control. I'm sorry to say it, but ending it all the way she did it was just as selfish as the choices she made that led to what she did. Be thankful to your children for being good people. And you know, whatever else she was, she at least did her part of making them who they are today. Obviously, return to therapy immediately. You're the only parent your children have left. It's going to be hard, but be strong for them. I'm sure it'll get better. Good luck, Kopi. Now, before we go, let's listen to a few comments by the community.
LOL Robbie says, Jesus, man. I've been waiting for an update, but this was not what I was expecting. I honestly can't even put into words how you must be feeling. I'm sorry for all that you and your kids have gone through. CSeebs17 says, I am devastated to hear this. I was really hoping for things to work out and for you to have your peace. I hope that you and your children continue to improve and maintain your strong family bond. All our love for you, my man. Miss Horrible 4. This is such an awful turn of events for you. I intermittently checked on your posts to see about an update, and I wasn't expecting this at all. I'm so sorry, OP. You sound like such a decent guy. This shouldn't have turned out this way. I hope you find a way to heal. Hugs. Random Guy 2220 says, This is not your fault. Your wife decided to cheat on you 5 times or more. Yes, nobody is perfect, but if your wife was a better human, then she would not cheat or stop after the first time and tell you about it. You need therapy ASAP. Warren305 says, She wasn't the love of your life. Have some self-respect, man. She was a terrible person who deceived you and her children, destroyed a family, then took the coward's way out without ever taking responsibility. That's a bad person.
Thank you all for listening. Please like, comment and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.